And welcome to the Town of Conception Bay South Public Council meeting for Tuesday, October 15th. Mayor Bent is away this evening, and I have the pleasure and privilege to chair the meeting this evening. So as we always start our meetings, we will begin again this evening with the land acknowledgement. The Town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatukavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Our next item is the adoption of our agendas for this evening. The adoption of the meeting agenda for October the 15th, 2024. I need Councillor Moores, second by Councillor Hillier. The adoption of the meeting minutes of October the 1st, 2024. Can I get a motion? Councillor Butler, seconder Councillor Hardy. Thank you. And business arising from previous minutes, seeing none, we will move on to the third item, visitors, presentations, and petitions. And this evening, we have a proclamation for this evening is Child Abuse Prevention Month. Child Abuse Prevention Month is this month, October 24th, October 2024. Whereas children are the foundation for a prosperous and innovative society, and the foundation for a child's growth and development is established when the community takes responsibility for creating healthy environments where our children can thrive. Whereas every child deserves to grow up in a safe, nurturing environment that fosters their physical, emotional, and social development. And whereas child abuse and neglect is an important societal concern that may affect the long-term health and well-being of not only children, but also the adults that they become. Whereas child abuse and neglect impacts our entire society and our society's future. Whereas child abuse prevention is a shared responsibility, and finding solutions requires the involvement and collaboration of citizens, organizations, and government entities. Whereas this month, we call on individuals, families, communities, and organizations to recognize the devastating problem of child abuse and neglect, and actively learn the signs of possible abuse. We urge everyone to seek resources, attend training, and spread awareness to ensure every child is safe, heard, and protected. We commit to creating a community where child abuse is recognized, reported, and prevented. Therefore, I, Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Town of Conception Bay South, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce child abuse and neglect significantly in the years to come. I'll sign that and pass that along. And get back here. Okay. Our next item is new business. So I'm going to start on my right and start with Councillor Hillier.
Thank you, Your Worship. Next week is Small Business Week. So just want to highlight one of our small businesses. Sometimes we don't pay attention to it, but we we don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. I was going through the shoreline last week, and I ran across an article about one of our small businesses. It's been around our community for about 30 years. It's the biggest of its kind in Atlantic Canada, with 175 outlets. And of course, I speak of the shoreline itself, which we just assume that it's been around forever and it's always going to be there. We go to the outlet on any given week and pick it up and enjoy it. So I thought that'd be a nice way to highlight Small Business Week, to highlight shoreline. I just want to congratulate Craig on the work that he's done to grow the shoreline over the last, well, he hasn't been 30 years, but over his tenure with the newspaper. The pivots that he had to make during the pandemic to maintain it, and thank him, I guess, for us having that form of communication with our residents, because there is a portion of our residents that's the way we do our communication. And wish him luck in the future, and hopefully that this continues for some time to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. And you know, in these times when we see less and less uptake for paper, it's really great that we are fortunate enough to have that news piece here in our community you're correct, we use and we depend on to communicate with the residents of Conception Bay South. And it links us to our neighboring communities as well, as we stay connected in what's happening in the neighboring communities. So I agree with you and congratulate the shoreline on maintaining and staying such an important, integral part of our community. Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to be short again here tonight. I just want same as Councillor Hillier, I'm not going to talk about the shoreline. They do a wonderful job, but I'm not going to talk about them. Just small business in general. They are the backbone of our community. There's, I think, it's 550 in our community that we rely on a daily basis, and a lot of us visit some of those businesses on a daily basis. And it's only because they're entrepreneurs that they want to run and operate their own business that makes our economy here in Conception Bay South, and makes it a lot easier for us. So I did just want to mention that next week we're going to have our gala event for our business awards next Wednesday, and looking forward to that, to go down and be able to meet with some of the business owners and the Chamber of Commerce and talk to some business people, and just to let them know and appreciate what they do here in our community. So that's it for me for tonight.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. Just want to thank the residents in the Ward 4 area for their patience, and I guess all residents as they're travelling through Route 60, but more so in the west end of the town as they're finalising the sidewalk from Comerford's Road down to Cole Tomics, connecting the sidewalk. So certainly appreciates everyone's patience, and I guess there was some chatter on social media with regards to Route 60 and how those roads also need to be addressed. So collectively as a town, we're certainly looking at that as well, but it right now currently is taken care of by the provincial government. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. And over to Councillor Morris.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I have a couple of things from the Recreation Department. Just a reminder that the town's Trunk or Treat event will be happening again this year on October 26th at Sergeant Ned's Nugent Park. This year, we added a third time slot to the event to include as many people as possible, and there are still some spots available. So if you would like to register, make sure you visit the town's website for all the details. And also, I'm sure Councillor Butler's already registered for the Seniors Halloween Social, which is coming up on October 31st, with, of course, a special treat for all the seniors. This year's social is being sponsored by the Neighborhood Adult Day Program, a Penny Group company. And this sponsorship will allow us to waive the cost of admission for the event meaning there will be no charge for tickets. So anyone looking to attend still must get a ticket, which will be available at the Town Hall starting October 22nd at 10 a.m. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morse. And to you, Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. I wish I were going to be here for the seniors' Halloween, but unfortunately this year I will be visiting my mom, which is more important right now, to spend time with her. I want to make a few comments about Seniors Expo. Myself and the Mayor and Councillor Hillier were in attendance at it there on October 2nd. And we had, the attendance was very good, very good. We had a lot of traffic coming through, and I understand that it was probably 3 times as many at this as it was the one last year. Myself and the Mayor and Councillor Hillier, we had a table also. We had a budget table. So we were there and chatted with a lot of the residents, and we had the surveys there printed out and ready for them to complete, and we had quite a number completed. And lots of things to be said and comments made and suggestions made. So they'll be as part of our budget process going forward over the next month or so. And the Seniors Halloween Social is October 22nd. No, sorry, that's when the tickets go on sale. Tickets go on sale October 22nd at 10 a.m. And as Councillor Moores has already said, due to some very generous contributions, though you still have to register, it will be free of charge. So I'm sure it will be blocked and lots of Halloween costumes, and I do miss it, but I'm sure I'll hear all about it. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. And next we have Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one, some members of the public may have noticed we had a visitor here tonight on our public agenda, probably today, but unfortunately due to a personal reason, she had to postponed for this evening, so Chloe Jackson will be making an appearance at a future council meeting, so we just got to set up a time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Tilley. Yes, we look forward to having Chloe join us at a future meeting. I just kind of mention a couple of things. I just want to make mention of Small Business Week coming up next week. It's a really big week here in Conception Bay South. Our town is made up of so many small businesses. Drive along the main thoroughfare and you can see lots of small businesses, but there's so many that you don't see every day. So this is an opportunity that we get to celebrate small business and our business awards night, that's when we get to, that's our big celebration. We look forward to that. And I just want to say a congratulations. I just want to let all our nominees, I want to congratulate all our nominees, and I want to just let all our small businesses know how much we appreciate them. And just while I'm speaking of business, some of you may, there's a mail out supposed to be coming out from a company, a business that deals in radon awareness, and some people may have received something in their mail. And so I just want to just have a little, say a few words on radon awareness, take this opportunity to discuss it. Radon is a naturally occurring, visible, and odorless gas found in homes across Canada. And next month is Radon Awareness Month. So if you're not aware, I mean, it's a leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. And testing for radon gas is the only way to determine your home's risk. This is an ideal time, the fall is the ideal time to do radon testing, as Health Canada recommends testing between October and April, as this is a time when we have our windows closed, we have our doors sealed up, no screen doors, and so your house is more tight, and it's a good time to test for radon. The town is committed to raising awareness about radon. From 111 homes tested here in our community in 2023, 30% exceeded the Canadian Safety Guideline. So if you want to read that full report, it's on our website. Mitigation systems can reduce radon levels by over 90%. So it is a fix, it's something that can be done. And new homes have, as per our building code, new homes have rough-in for venting, and older homes can certainly be retrofitted for venting. And there is some financial assistance available to those who qualify. Take Action on Radon is a website that would have more information. And testing is easy. They're little tiny kits, and they're available from local retailers. Little tiny kits you put on your main level or your lowest level in your house. So if you have a basement, you would put it down your basement, and the one closest to the ground, and you leave it in your home for a period of time, and after the test period is up, you just pop it in the mail back to the Radon Canada, and they will evaluate it and send you back your confidential results. So with Radon Awareness Month coming up, it might be a good time to give that some consideration. So on that note, we are going to dive into our agenda. And the first is the recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee, and I'm going to pass it on to the Chair, Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. Here, everyone sit back and relax because we got quite a few recommendations to go through tonight. The recommendations from our committee meeting held on October 7th. 6A, number 163, 167, 177A, Conception Bay Highway, and 35 to 39 Talfoyle Road. This particular recommendation was transferred from our committee to whole meeting from earlier on this evening. Be it so resolved that the order issued on May 5th, 2024, requiring that work associated with subdivision development at 163, 165, and 177A Conception Bay Highway, and 35 to 39 Talfoyle Road be rescinded in consideration that the appeal of the town's approval for that subdivision has been dismissed. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Morris. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, as I'm sure as everyone is aware, we entered into a subdivision agreement with a developer for a particular piece of property. Some nearby residents put in an appeal, which they have every right to do so. There was a hearing, and the adjudicator ruled in favour of the town, so we're just going to lift that order, that stop work order now, and I believe work has already started again in that particular area.
All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
Item 6B, 1629 to 1631 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 3.12, subsection 1, a variance request to reduce the building line setback from 10 metres to 9 metres associated with application number 4573, received on August 30th, 2024, for a single dwelling at 1629 to 1631 Conception Bay Highway, be refused in consideration that the compliance with the minimum building line setback would not prejudice development of the property. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
Item 6C, 139 to 149 Garden Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 4.9 of the town's development regulations, application number 4271 received on June 19th, 2024, and 4591 received on August 28, 2024, proposing to subdivide property at 139 Garden Road and develop a single dwelling, be deferred pending finalization and adoption of the stormwater study for Billybrook. So moved.
Second, Councillor Butler. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, as I'm sure as council is aware, we've engaged into a stormwater study for that particular area, and we just can't allow any development in that area until we get the stormwater study back for that particular area and have a chance to look at it.
Okay, thanks. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
Item 6D, 4244 Seaview Place. With the concurrence of my committee, we're going to defer that back to committee for a further discussion.
Okay.
Item 6E, 16 Dove Place. Be it so resolved that in accordance with subsection 108, subsection 3E of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Approval is granted for the development of a dwelling within a maximum floor space of 1,500 square feet at 14 to 18 Dove Place to replace a deteriorated dwelling. So moved.
Seconded. Councillor Hillier. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 6F, 39 to 41 Country Path Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 15 and 16 of the town's fence regulations, application number 4703 for a fence along the northern boundary of 41 Country Path Road be approved on condition that no portion of the fence shall be within 1 meter of the front property boundary, a maximum height of 1.2 meters for the front yard fence, and a maximum height of 2.4 meters beyond the building line for side and rear yard fence, and subject to approval of the Department of Environment and Climate Change for any portion of the fence located within 15 meters of Cross Brook. So moved.
Second. Councillor Hillier. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 6G, Little Bell Place. Be it so resolved that the proposed relocation of the accessory building at 6 Little Bell Place, constructed in accordance with application number 992, be approved for a placement that is less than 0.3 meters from an easement. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 6H, 63 Redbridge Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Section 7 of the town's commercial motor vehicle regulations, application number 4635 received on September 13, 2024 for a commercial motor vehicle parking permit at Civic number 63 Redbridge Road be refused in consideration that the property does not meet the minimum lot area and frontage requirements. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hillier. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 6I, Development Regulations Amendment Number 57, 2024. Be it so resolved that under authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Development Regulations Amendment Number 57, 2024 be adopted. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Morris. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, that's what the public hearing we had regarding residential pools and similar structures.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 6J, Development Regulations Amendment Number 58, 2024. Be it so resolved that under the authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Development Regulations Amendment Number 58, 2024 be adopted. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler. Discussion?
And Your Worship, that again is the public hearings we had regarding unserviced infill development in the R2 zones.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried. Councillor Tilley, the next item, 6K. I declared a conflict in this, so I'm going to turn the chair over to Councillor Hillier.
I'm also in conflict, so I have a family member that works for the business.
Careful. 6K 40 Foxer Bex's Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 14 and 35 subsection 5 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, upon payment of the applicable processing fee and deposit, the town undertake initial consultation for a proposed amendment to the development regulations regarding restrictions on future use of property at 40 Foxer Bex's Road. So moved.
Have a seconder. Councillor Butler. Discussion?
Yes, Councillor Hillier, as per all requests for rezoning, the applicant would like to, he's making an application for rezoning, and of course, we just, we have a process to follow, and this is just part of that process.
Any further discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Carried. All right.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier.
Yep.
Councillor Tilly.
Item 6L, 2410 Topsail Road. Be it so resolved that the order issued on August 22nd, 2024, regarding grading and debris at 2410 Topsail Road be rescinded in consideration that the property owner has complied with the order to the satisfaction of the town. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Morris. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
Item 6M, 434 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Section 10.12 of the town's development regulations, application number 4549, received on August 23, 2024, proposing to operate a medical and professional use business at 434 Conception Bay Highway be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
And finally, item 6N is our blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that the decisions and discussions of the October 7, 2024 Planning and Development Committee meeting be approved. So moved. And the topics of discussion are so noted.
Seconder. Councillor Morris. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Tilly. Recommendations of the Engineering and Public Works Committee, and our chair is Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. 7A, wastewater treatment plant upgrade consulting assessment approval. Be it so resolved that approval is given to engage Dewar Bailey Consultants at a cost of $73,296 plus HST to complete an assessment of the something just popped up. Wastewater treatment plant. Funds are available in the capital projects account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors. Discussion?
Just starting the process, going to get the consultants in and get a good assessment done of the plant.
Okay. All in favour? Aye. Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
And 7B, our blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Engineering and Public Works Committee held on October 9th, 2024 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors. Discussion?
Your Worship, just nice to see that the Duns Hill intersection is still on the agenda, and we're working through that.
Yes, we sure are. We have staff looking at some things. We had a fulsome meeting last week, and we made some recommendations.
Yep.
And we will be circling back to that shortly.
Yep. Give staff some time to receive what we were looking to get done. So.
Exactly. Great. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. And the next item is the recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee. And the chair, Councillor Barrett, is away this evening, so we have Councillor Morse.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. 8A, CBS Arena Heat Exchanger Gaskets Replacement. Be it so resolved, approval be given to pay $43,750 to Torment Simco for the supply and install of new gaskets for the rink chiller and heat recovery systems at the Conception Bay South Arena. Funds are available in the account listed. So moved.
A seconder. Councillor Connors. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried.
And B is just the Recreation and Leisure Service Committee report. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting of October 8th, 2024 be accepted as presented with the items listed that were discussed. So moved.
I seconder. Councillor Butler. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're down to the recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee. And as I am in chair this evening, and Councillor Barrett is away, I've asked Councillor Tilley to take that agenda. So over to you, Councillor Tilley.
Thank you again. The following are the recommendations of our Finance Administration Committee meeting held on October 7th. First item, 9A, is a transfer from our committee whole meeting. Approval to purchase a 2026 pumper rescue fire truck apparatus. Be it so resolved that an approval be given to purchase a 2026 Pierce Max Sabre pumper rescue fire apparatus from Safety Source Fire through the canoe procurement at a cost of $1,445,608.99 plus HST. So moved.
Second, Councillor Hillier. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, as part of our ongoing fleet replacement, and of course the Fire Department in conjunction with Public Works, they have a replacement plan in place, and this is just one of those necessary evils where we have to spend a bit of money to purchase much needed fire equipment for our town. I remember when we purchased our first one from this said group, I believe, Chief, was back in 2008? So, yeah, 2007, so it's, we definitely got some good years out of that fire truck, and we look forward to delivery of a new modern fire apparatus for our firefighters.
And while we're approving it here, we may not actually see it for a couple of years, correct?
Yeah, and I think it's with
Up to 24 months,
up
maybe?
to 24 months, so, you know, it's, even though we're approving it now, it's going to be a couple of years before we see it, so we got to make the plunge now to get it, so we'll get it for 2026.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 9B is a change to the meeting schedule, and I believe this is to accommodate the Christmas break. Be it so resolved that the public meeting for January will be held on January 21st, 2025. So moved.
Second, Councillor Connors. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 9C, accounts payable checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable invoices totaling $372,142.11 as per the attached report. So moved.
Second, Councillor Butler. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, as with this one and the next two, just the cost of doing our daily business with the town.
Pay the bills.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 9D, manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $32,321.52. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 9E, capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $771,578 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carried.
Item 9F, disaster mitigation and adaptation funding. Be it so resolved that the town of Conception Bay South accept funding from the Disaster Mitigation and Adaptation Fund to a maximum project cost of $15,500,000. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Discussion? I actually have a note here on this fund. Our finance staff are often, they often make applications for different funding programs. And this disaster mitigation and adaptation fund was one that they made application for a while back and were approved for. And we're approved for $15.5 million. It's a federally funded program offered by Housing, Infrastructure, and Communities of Canada. And the cost ratio is 40-60, with the federal cost share being 40%. This program will also allow us to stack our funds with other non-federal sources to help offset the municipal costs. The timeline on this, we have until December 31st, 2032 to use the funding, which is great, which is you know, a great timeline. And our town hopes to use the funding to upgrade the Long Pond breakwater to correct and mitigate erosion and to protect the many businesses and properties in the downtown area from future storm surge and any adverse weather events. These upgrades are intended to be a long-term natural and adaptation solution, also able to withstand projected climate events and impacts for many years to come. So on that note, all in favor? Contraminded? Motion carries.
Item 9G, Financial Services Department Report. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting held on October 7, 2024 be accepted as presented, and the following items were discussed below. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Morris. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? Motion carries.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay. We have no recommendations of economic and development at this time. Does anyone have any other committees to report on since our last public meeting? No, no other committees. So being that we are at the end of our agenda and nothing to add, I will call for an adjournment of the meeting, and Councillor Tilley, second by Councillor Butler. And we will see everybody back at our next public council meeting, which is not until November 5th, bonfire night. And the American election night. Oh, anyway, we'll see you back here then. Mayor Bent will be back in his chair on November 5th.